right, here is a look at the Threezero MDLX STARSCREAM. It just showed up a few days ago, and finally got a chance to sit down and give it a look here on camera. It's a very fun and posable STARSCREAM. He's chunky, a little bigger than I was expecting, although not quite. Is he a little taller than Megatron? And overall, his height is taller than Megatron. We'll get to that in a little bit. But yeah, the STARSCREAM, he's got his null rays. He's got a really nice, as you'd expect from a Threezero. He doesn't transform, which lets them put in more articulation joints, but he's got all this. I love how, we'll get to the null rays here in a minute. There's some cool stuff going on with them, but like, I love how they attach and you can still move this whole shoulder pad and arm, bicep swivel, dual hinged elbows there, ball joints at the wrist. The fists are swappable. He doesn't have posable fingers, but he does have some swappable hands, which we'll get to. It's got a little bit of an ab crunch there at the cockpit. I like it, and that's really well done. Like, it's not super visible there. I like how they did that. Waist swivel. He's got double directional thighs or hips, and also a little movement back and forth there on the hip ball joint. Dual hinged knees. Obviously the wings can kind of get in the way of that, and then he's got ankle tilt. Oh, the wings do come off. We'll show that in a minute. And the feet tilt up. He's got very large feet that stick out very far in front. He supports himself, so that's great, but he does have very big feet. The wing pack comes in a separate pack, and then there's these little spurs. These little pieces come packed separately, and you can see there's just a little notch here that they just slide up onto the wings like that. And once they're in place, they don't wibble too much. But yeah, he's got a separate wing pack, and you can it just tabs right into the back here like that. Accessory wise, he's got a swappable face. He's got his, let me see if I can get him up close here so you can really see these. Let's see if we can focus this close. Nope, you don't want to focus on the face, huh? All right, well, there we go. He's mostly in focus there. But you see he's got kind of a neutral face, and then he has another face that has a very slight smirk to it on the, I guess if you're looking at the camera here on the right side of his face, his mouth tilts slightly up. It's very easy to swap his face. You just kind of lift his head up, pull out his chin. You can see there's a couple of peg holes in there, a couple of tiny pegs on the back of the face, and you just swap out the face. And it should just peg right back in. Very easy. Like, some figures with swap out faces have been a pain in the butt. And you can see he's just got just a slight smirk there. A little more STARSCREAM-y in attitude, perhaps. But that's very easy to swap the faces, which is nice. Let's go ahead and back him up back here. And we'll get to the rest of him. So he's got a bunch, like I said, 3 extra sets of swappable hands. He's got kind of gentle, relaxed hands. He's got more spread fingers, almost as if he's grabbing hands. And like I said, you just pop them off with a ball joint, pop the new hand on. Although the first time you pop a new hand on, it's a little stiff. Whoops. But well, I guess there's one grabby hand and one kind of neutral hanging hand. Grabby hand on this side, neutral hand on this side. Just to give you an idea of how they look. Or, it could be but what if we did this? A gesturing hand. But then he also comes with a set of gun holding hands. And that's part of the reason I was praising the null rays and the shoulder pads earlier, because the shoulder pads have all of that articulation to let the arms move and all of that, while also having a deep enough slot to allow for the null rays to have like an actual handle. And I think that's cool that it's got like a long holdable handle on the gun so we can hold it. I'll show those in a minute. But it still fits in there and still collapses, and you can see it collapses all the way up against the body, even though that joint is extendable without damaging that handle, which is pretty cool. This actually stays on fairly well. It's just I keep sticking my finger right in between there and just pushing it off. But yeah, so you can give him his null rays instead of having them just attached to his arms, he can also hold them as handheld rifles. I just think that's cool. That they can take that whole handle and the shoulder pad and not affect the articulation of the shoulder, which is cool. But yeah, nice and posable. I like his thicker legs down here. They're kind of rounded off. But proportionally, he's just a fun Starscream. And of course, here he is with Megatron, just to give you a comparison. At the top of his head, he's a little shorter to the top of the head. I guess he is actually still even a little shorter overall. I can't tell. From the angle I'm looking at it, it does look like the very tip of Starscream's wing has it beat by a little bit, but then looking at more of a straight-on level look here through the camera, it looks like it's real close as to who's actually taller. Obviously, his shoulder pylons from the wing pack are a little taller than Megatron's head, but they look really nice together. So yeah, we're looking forward to... I'm going to be rearranging my shelves probably soon, and I think I'm going to make some room for the MDLX stuff. I've got them all stored like right here under my table. All the boxes are right here. But I'm actually going to put them up on a display shelf. Now that we got Bumblebee, Optimus, Megatron, Starscream, Hot Rod, or Rodimus, we've got enough of a collection to put them up on the shelves. But anyway, really solid figure. Another nice addition to the line here. Popular character, nicely done. Nicely done. MDLX Starscream from Threezero.